there are two things that we actually want to discuss before we will go to the field. Firstly, is to sensitize our farmers on the importance of what they have been doing, how good practices they have been doing, and what they also need to improve on. Just a little bit of interaction, yes, on how they improve the lives that we have inside the soil. So, because there are some things we are doing we may not even know. But I know as you as our guys here, you will know. And I know say our guy here also may know. Our farmers do not know. So in a forum like this, when we come together as from Nigeria Institute of Science and people of us that are scientists, we always want to have that forum. Yeah, but when we come around, we see how we can improve the life of our farmers as you two have been doing. So that we make them improve on their livelihood through what they are doing as a means of survival, that is farming. Yeah, my name is Nafi Wadewale, head of Inspectorate and Accreditation Departments under Nigeria Institute of Soil Science. We are celebrating the World Soil Day for this year 2020 with the theme Keep the Soil Alive and Protecting the Microorganisms in the soil. The theme of this year is to celebrate how we can keep our soil alive, how we can prevent it from being degenerated or degraded, and also how do we keep the lives. We are talking about the lives of the microorganisms, the ones that are above the soil, those that are within the soil, faunas, earthworms, millipedes, all those things that aerate the soil, that also improve the soil fertility of the soil, and also makes our soils to be alive for us to make use of it for our production. So we need to protect them. We need to keep them alive. And the activities we need to do to ensure that we keep them alive is to avoid some of the practices that our farmers used to do, like bush burning, excessive application of fertilizer, which kills some of these microorganisms, which is probably also improper use of the fertilizer, either organic, inorganic fertilizer, precisely, chemical fertilizer.
So another very important thing is that, our soil is very important. Without the soil, we cannot even produce. Yes. Without the soil, we can't gather here today. Yes, yes. That is why the federal government created an institute called Institute of Soil Science. And every year, the world recognizes the importance of soil. So we celebrate what we call World Soil Day, which is on the 5th of December every year. And this year theme is
counted part of the soil.
Yeah, by your activities you can join us now. Or you organize your farmers.
We'll put this fine cloth and
don't worry, fine cloth is not. So this year's theme is Save Our Soil. We need to save the soil and to protect soil biodiversity. What is soil biodiversity? This is our soil you are seeing. There are living organisms.
Yes, yes.
I'm sure you are even seeing some. Just now we saw one centipede there. There are the ones you can see, the ones you cannot see. Some are so tiny that you cannot see. Some are big, you can see it. Some are even bigger, like your rats that will eat your crop on the farm. They are still part of the living organism. So what are the activities that we do to protect? Because these living organisms, they are very important for our soil. Okay. These leaves that fall on the soil today, tomorrow they become fertilizer for the soil to produce crops. So, and it is organisms that help us to break down these leaves to become that fertilizer. So that is why we are campaigning that we protect these organisms so that they will help us carry out their function in the soil. Because they are very important. But as farmers, there are some activities we do that kill these organisms for us. We might think that we are keeping our soil clean. One of those activities is that sometimes you clean your soil very well. Before you farm, you make sure that all these leaves, you clear it. And which is very important for the soil. Or sometimes you gather it and put fire. That I want to burn it so that in case there is disease from that crop. Because we farmers, we believe that last year if we have disease on our crop, when we burn the stump, it clears the disease, isn't it? So in the process of burning it, you are burning those organisms and they will not be here to carry out their function. Or we carry one big tractor, this land is very big now. Carry one big tractor, put it there. And the tractor will go down and kill those organisms for us. So that is what our campaign for this year. We need to protect those organisms so that they will make our soil productive. Just like my oga has said, we might put all the fertilizer, put everything. If they are not there, we will not get the yield. We will not get the yield. So this organism is very important. So that is what we are saying. This World Soil Day, we are talking of how to protect this organism. And you will help us campaign to your farmers. Tell them the importance of this organism in our soil, and let's try to protect them.
Okay.
This year's World Soil Day with the theme Keep Soil Alive, Protect Soil Biodiversity. Our soil is the only medium that produces food for man. And the soil is very important. Without proper protection of the soil, once you lose a small quantity of soil, it takes a lot of years to build a soil, as much as 1,000 years. But soils can be destroyed within a twinkling of an eye. And our soils are made up of living organisms that live within them. They help us decompose all the materials on top of the soil and make the soil to have more pore spaces so that it will permit the entry or penetration of water and air for these organisms to breathe and live. So this year's World Soil Day is focusing on this organism. How do we protect this organism? The first part of the World Soil Day say keep soil alive. Our soil needs to be protected. It needs to be alive in order to be able to support crop production. But the soil on its own cannot perform this function without the organisms in the soil. The organisms are categorized into three. We have the microorganism, we have the mesofauna, and the macro, the bigger organisms that can be seen with the eyes. The microorganism, you cannot see it with your naked eyes. We need a microscope. But they are alive and they are very important for our soil. But our farmers carry out some activities that can destroy this organism and end up destroying our soil. That is why this year we are focusing on how to protect this organism so that they will make our soil more fertile to support crop production.
Soil that we are emphasizing just before we go to the field, which is very, very important. There are some things, the emphasis for this year, the World Soil Day that is celebrated all over the world. It is going to be on December 5. But the emphasis is that there are lives inside the soil. The soil that we are seeing now, just as we have life above soil, we also have lives inside soil. And all their works are important for the survival and productivity of the soil. So this year, all over the world, they are telling farmers and other people to take care of the lives inside soil, because those lives inside soil are the one that is making the soil to be productive. And these lives that are inside soil, there are different types of them. You understand? As we are here, you can see some insects, some animals, some of them are above the soil, some of them are inside the soil. Some of them you can see them with your eyes. Some of them you can see, some of them you cannot see them with your eyes, but they are walking. You see something, you see this leaf. After you put it for some time, go start the rotting, start the breakdown. You know, now something they make them do like that. Now these animals, both the one that we see with our eyes and the one that we don't see with our eyes, they are very important. Not only do they, when they carry this leaf now and break it down, all the nutrients that is inside this leaf will come to the soil. As they break it down, all the nutrients inside the leaf will come to the soil. There are some that is under. When they work on that one and break it, they will now remove the nitrogen will go. This one will go, that one will go, and then it will go back to the soil. So when you now plant your crop inside the soil will go and take those nutrients that those things have already released. But that thing that is breaking the thing, making the nutrient to be released here and there, if you have killed it, what will break the thing down for you? But you know, there are so many activities that we perform that kill some of those things. So what we are saying this time around is that we should protect them. There are many of them, like some of them that we can see, like this earthworm that we can see, termite that we can see, centipede. You know, you hear me tell them the whatever that we can see. There are some that we can see, we call them bacteria. They have proper function that they do in the soil. They break down these nutrients, these leaves. They also create parts as they are moving here and there. They are creating holes inside soil that make water to move. Water enters soil, and also water also is also retained inside the soil. So congratulate the world on the celebration of the World Soil Day 2020 with the theme Keep Soil Alive and then Keep Soil Biodiversity. You know that the soil is the basis of everything. All life depends on soil, directly or indirectly. And beyond the physical soil that we are seeing, we have life within soil. Some we can see with our eyes, many of them we cannot see. at all. And in a tablespoon of soil, we have millions of living organisms that are inside it. And these organisms have very important roles that they play in soil fertility, in food production, and even in environmental sustainability. And we need to keep them alive. They help in so many areas. They help in nutrient cycling. They help to sustain our nutrients. They help in carbon sequestration. They help because they use the carbon more. So they help to retain some of the carbon and then use it as an energy source in comparison to release other nutrients. They also help with water retention. They help to control erosion because they bind the soil together, and some of them also help by their movement. They help with aeration, soil aeration. They help with water. They create paths for water and for water retention. So there are so many uses that this soil biodiversity that they are involved in, and they need to be sustained and to be kept alive. We must keep life in the soil for the soil to be alive, to produce for us. We have to reduce the activities. How do we keep soil alive? By keeping biodiversity. Two things. Number one, we have to reduce or stop the activity that kill this biodiversity. Number two, we have to increase the activity that sustain them. What are some of the activities that kill them? All these farm practices that we do, compassion, unnecessary use of heavy equipment, things that compact our soil, they disturb this, they kill them, they suffocate them. We have to also stop activities like bush burning. Our tillage practices also is very important. They affect soil biodiversity. We have to minimize the wrong use of fertilizers and pesticides. They also affect them. We have to minimize some of these activities so that we can keep them alive. What do we do to increase to sustain them? We have to ensure that we introduce more organic resources to the soil. We do compost. We build soil organic matter. These are the things that keep them alive. We practice good crop rotation. We leave crop residue. We allow them to decompose so that they can have things to feed on. We practice activities, soil management procedures that keep the soil organism alive. We need to encourage some of these activities. So it's very, very important.
This year's theme of World Soil Day is termed Keep Soil Alive, Protect Its Biodiversity. This is a call for all farmers, human beings across the world, to pay attention to the life in the soil, because this life under the soil, beneath the soil, and on top of the soil plays vital roles in making the soil alive, which in turn make plants alive, which in turn provide food for mankind. So it's only necessary that we protect the soil and its biodiversity. But oftentimes, mankind have been carrying out activities that destroy this biodiversity, such as bush burning and poor management practices. So the theme of this year's soil science is telling every farmer, every user of the soil, which I believe everybody uses the soil one way or another, to protect its biodiversity. This is a call for proper soil management. Stop all those hazardous activities such as bush burning and deforestation, which open up the soil for destruction through erosion and all that, and thereby endangering the biodiversity, causing loss of microfauna in the soil. So we believe that if we remedy these practices through mulching, through afforestation, and then stop bush burning, we can in turn save all this biodiversity of the soil.